I don't think that it's fixed yet. So I have an unfortunate story of having been contacted by the head of IFPUG who said, which is more valuable, to have an international standard for function point counting or one that's automated? I'm afraid I told him the truth, and the answer is an automated one is more useful. It's lower cost, it's consistent, you get the same answer no matter how many people do the metric count. You get the same answer from the same person doing the count twice, which is not necessarily true for an IFPUG function point counter. So yes, there's pushback. Actually, more often the pushback I get is from organizations such as my recent trip to China, in which I was told, no, that can't be done. You can't automate function point counting. You can't automate defect checking. But of course you can. It's been done for a long time. What we're doing is standardizing. We're starting to see AFP deployments now. I can't talk about specific companies, but I'm aware of one in the telecommunications space and one in the manufacturing space. And in both cases, they've brought down the cost of measurements of complexity, and now that's sort of the denominator of the metric. Now we need the denominator. We need standard defect metrics. We need standard ways to find everything from buffer overflow to too much complexity in loops and go-tos and so forth in source code. And that's what we're concentrating on this year. We don't have that yet today. It's standardized. The CISC group has come up with 82 metrics of software quality, essentially patterns of good and bad software development. Those need to come through the OMG process so that they're standardized, recognized, and actually could become ISO standards through our publicly available specification process with ISO as well. So we're starting to see it. It's just beginning. And by the end of the year, I think we're going to see hundreds of organizations measuring the defects in their code and measuring the complexity and size of their code using standards that came from the CISC process. CIOs want better, faster, cheaper. We used to say when I was a consultant, I know you want better, faster, cheaper, choose two. This is actually a standard that lets you choose all three exactly because it's automated. So it brings down the cost of defect checking. It brings down the cost of size checking, increases the quality because you know where the defects are, you know where to fix them. And obviously it's faster because it's done by a computer rather than by a person. So we'll see pushback. We'll see people realizing that they need to change their processes. It's a business transformation issue. But I think that CIOs should be looking for both productivity and lower cost. And they're going to get that from standards for software quality. AFP is a standard. It's on the list to be sent to ISO to be an ISO standard as well, which will be important to organizations that find that they have to use ISO standards for World Trade Organization, WTO reasons. Especially once that happens, it will be very widespread and it will be heavily used. But the important thing is not whether it's a standard. The important thing is that it's automated. That means lower cost, higher quality. That's absolutely exactly what we're looking for. So yes, we're going to see AFP be a standard, and I think the only slowness in uptake today of the AFP standard is we've got that denominator, we haven't got the numerator yet. We don't have the standardized defect metrics, the standardized defect patterns and anti-patterns.